Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. Thank you so much for joining me here today. If Sagittarius is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Sagittarius, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. This is very nice, Queen of Pentacles. I feel like you're in a mode right now where you're really looking at the past. You know, this card is always looking at the road behind them, always sort of wondering, how did I get here, right? So I feel like this is a good time for you to be sort of retrospective. Take a look at the path that you've been traveling, okay, with all of its twists and turns, all of its speed bumps and potholes and all these things. Take a look at everything, every choice that you've made that has brought you right here to this moment, sitting in front of me watching this reading. Okay. I feel like you're somebody who tries to reflect on the past in that way. You probably have a desire to keep a detailed journal. I don't know if you always get around to it, but I feel like you intend to, okay? And that's a very good practice, because it's important that we take some time to have a sort of a retrospective, that we sort of recapitulate the journey that we've been on so we can appreciate where we are right now, and so that we can discern wisdom from the past that we can then take to the future. I think you're in a turning point. You're in a transitional phase right now. So we're looking at the past and trying to understand what worked, what didn't work, so that we can take that wisdom and then turn toward the future and start moving in that direction. Okay? This is kind of the card of the turning point. It says it's maybe time to start looking forward. Do we have everything we need from this sort of retrospective, right? Let's put this into some context. Let's do some more cards here. We've got the Hermit energy. Interesting. I kind of wonder if there's even a desire in you to kind of just not keep going, right? That you sort of just in some ways feel like it's good enough here. You know, we're looking at the past, we're trying to get the wisdom, what worked, didn't work. And maybe in that process, we feel like that was a lot of work. Like I'm okay, just maybe that's enough. You know, it sort of feels like one of those Survivor type game shows on TV, you know, where it's just like, somebody has too much time to reflect on everything they've already endured, and then they sort of wake up the next morning and they sort of say, okay, I'm officially quitting or whatever, you know? It sort of feels like that. And that's the vibe I get from the Hermit. But let's see what else is going on. We got the Empress now. And the Empress is sort of it almost looks like a Queen of Pentacles, but one's kind of looking that way, one is looking this way. They're both sort of cradling something with one hand and holding something in the other. Very similar, the horns on the head. Very similar cards, really. Okay, this is underneath the surface. And it really could be that there is this feeling of so much more potential in you that it's sort of difficult for you to go back to that treacherous mountain climb of that goat, that devil energy from the past, you know? Let's keep going. Let's set the rest of our cards out. Ace of Pentacles. Something might be coming in to change your mind on something. I feel like this could be, I don't know exactly yet. This might be some sort of a message coming in. This might be a particular person in your life that kind of shows up and says, hey, what are you doing? Let's get going, you know? And then you just kind of, you shake this reverie off and we're off and running again. Yeah. Let's keep going here. So yeah, well, there we go. There's the Knight of Wands. So something is happening that kind of brings us out of this retrospective and turns your eyes, sets your sights now on moving forward, more activity. We got the Nine of Swords in the environment, Four of Swords, and an Eight of Cups. Interesting. Interesting. This might even be something where maybe it's not what we kind of thought it was at first. Because when we get to the path of the serpent, it kind of looks like whatever this energy is that's trying to bring you out of this sort of relaxed state, this sort of retrospective, and maybe the Empress is the wisdom that kind of says, no, I'm going to stay and enjoy my life. I'm going to stay and heal. I'm going to thrive. I'm going to prosper here. It could be that this air energy here with the Knight of Swords is something happening. It doesn't have to be a person, but something happening in your life that's trying to draw you back into the fight, draw you back into the fire, right? It's kind of Michael Corleone who says, I'm out, I'm done. And then every time I try to get out, they pull me back in, right? And that's kind of what it feels like here. And what we see on the path of the serpent is really nothing nice, right? So maybe this is to say, hey, don't let somebody else or some other issue take you out of what feels right. Okay? So this doesn't necessarily mean that you're not doing anything, right? This means that you've made up your mind on what you are going to do. We have new projects and new things here, but this is kind of like, I'm staying home, I'm focusing on me, I'm doing my business, I'm focusing on my family and this, and then there's something else that wants to draw you into really conflict and misery, right? And which we see with these two cards here, but I think that you, maybe you're being sort of, I don't know, maybe someone wants to pull you out of retirement. You know what I mean? That sort of thing. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it down here with Alien, Simon Mork Ripley. We're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together, right? And it will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. Now, if you have a prediction for that card, I want you to put your prediction in the comments. Let's practice our intuition. Let's work on it, right? It's always a good idea, and it's kind of fun to play along, okay? Looking around the room, we've got major. Like these are the major arcana energies. And maybe these are important things. Maybe this is kind of saying that, look, your focus now has shifted toward you having this sort of this retrospective, right? And now the Queen of Pentacles is sort of saying, like, I like where I am. I've been through a lot to get here, and I'm okay with being here, right? And it's kind of a focus now on just a disengaging from conflict, disengaging from all of these things that, maybe maybe all of these were the elements of struggle that we had before to get here. And why would we want to go back, right? And so this could be now a focus on your own prosperity, a focus on your own creativity. Maybe this is kind of, in a very, kind of real way, maybe this is you liking your new life, not wanting to go back to the old life. This is kind of like maybe you've become a parent. And now it's just like, no, I just want to stay home and be a parent. I don't want to go back to that rat race, This is, I think, you finding yourself in a new place and thinking, wow, I like it here. I'm going to stay. When maybe that wasn't the original intention. See, we kind of got that devil and that empress sort of a little bit of a dichotomy there, right? A little bit of a contention, a little bit of a duality. But I think that this is your ability to choose for yourself what kind of life you want to live. And I think with the Ace of Pentacles up here, you might be starting on a lot of new things that maybe weren't really part of your original plan. It was, again, it feels like you found yourself here in this place and you say, I like it here. I don't need to keep going. I don't need to move on and endure all of this stuff again, just to try to get back to this feeling of bliss, of paradise, of success, of love, of nurturing, of family, of home, because you're already here, right? So if you already have what you wanted, even though it seems like it's coming from an unexpected way, an unexpected avenue, but it is what you wanted, right? So why would you leave and continue this journey to get this when it seems like you already have this, right? I hope that makes sense. The Hermit is kind of taking a time out from the interpersonal drama. And we got a lot of drama over here with the Nine of Swords, okay? It feels to me like it's going to take a lot to get you to go back to that Nine of Swords, to go back to that sort of intense competition, maybe of business or of whatever path you were on. It feels like right now it doesn't seem like the atmosphere is really what you're looking for. It doesn't feel like the environment is really all that pleasant for you when you think about it, when you look at it, okay? The Hermit is sort of focusing on other things. It's somebody that now is like, and maybe as we get older, we sort of transition out of that kind of very competitive, let's say, or very like achievement-oriented energy, and now we're just looking to kind of enjoy what we have. Maybe you've succeeded in your life in a major way because of all your effort, all of your ambition. Maybe you got a nice house, you got a nice family, you're stable, you're secure, you're living pretty well. And maybe now with the Hermit energy, you're kind of realizing like, I just want to enjoy this. I don't need to go out and try to compete for more. I want to be able to enjoy what I've got, right? What's the point of having a nice house if you're never home, you see? So I think the Hermit is really you kind of moving into this energy of spending more time at home, focusing on your self-care, focusing on your home, your family, your pets, your plants, your people. Those things that are very important to you. Within your home base, within your it's your castle here, and this is where you really kind of get to be in your bathrobe, like the Hermit energy. You get to sort of be in your bathrobe and you get to follow other things. Maybe this is a shifting now from an external ambition to now an internal. You're going to work on your spirituality. You're going to work on activating and activating the light within you, really invoking that star card energy, finding the star within you. As the Hermit is doing, because the Empress down beneath the surface, I think is really, you like it here. I feel like your family situation is very good. I feel that everybody is kind of getting along. It feels safe here. It feels nice. Okay. I don't think you really expected to like it wherever you are now or whatever you're kind of doing. But it's almost as if you've kind of settled in and you're looking maybe at the past, like that Queen of Pentacles, looking at the past and thinking, I've already been through a lot. Now I can either keep going and I can go through a lot more, as we see over here, or you can kind of count your blessings and appreciate what you have right here and stay here for a while. Well, maybe not permanently, right? Maybe not permanently. But I think that this is a good place for you to kind of enjoy yourself. Spend some time here doing the more personal stuff, the self-care, the family stuff, the gardening, the stuff around the house, these other projects that you have aside from this, whatever this external kind of cutthroat competition kind of thing is, because it is looking pretty nasty out there. And it's kind of like, why would I want to go out there? Right? Because the way it's going with the Eight of Cups, it doesn't feel like you would be all that satisfied doing it. Maybe it's because your desires have changed. What brings you satisfaction now maybe is different than this other path that you were on. Now we've got the Devil energy behind you. You've got the motivation, you've got the power, the strength, the creativity, you've got the force and fire, you've got the driving force to get her done, right? Whatever it is. But just because you have it doesn't mean you need to really use it. Just because you have a car that can go 200 miles an hour doesn't mean you should, right? So maybe you got this really nice car, speed racing car, can go 200 miles an hour, but you're more interested in the slow Sunday drives in the country, on a nice day, top down, wind in your hair. I don't like that so much. My hair gets in my face and it's just, I don't like it. But you know what I mean. And I feel that that's kind of like, it's okay for us to slow down and enjoy other things, because maybe you don't have that appetite for whatever sort of came before, right? Whatever your life was, because now it's sort of looking like it's not. These are not enjoyable cards. These are cards that we don't really want to, have to endure, unless it's for a particular purpose. And I think that your Empress energy is that purpose underneath everything. That maybe there was a certain pleasure in that sort of, really high octane, active, competitive, ambitious life. But I think now there's something else. Okay. And maybe it's sort of leaning more towards just personal expression of, creativity and poetry and creative writing and all these sorts of things. So I think I think there's a shift in you. And the Ace of Pentacles, though, is still you looking for what the next step is. It's kind of like we're still asking ourselves, like, what should I do? And I think that it's really kind of the connection with all the earth. This is a lot of earth cards here. We started with our major arcana. We've got a little bit of fire. We've got a little bit of water up here. We've got the air that kind of maybe pulls us in a direction that we're just not sure really what we want to, if we should go back to doing this thing. It's kind of like someone calls you up on the phone and says, hey, we're ready for you. Let's get to it. Let's get back on the road. Let's go do it. And you're just like, okay, let me call you back. Not really sure if we want to do that anymore, whatever it is. Yeah. So we have very limited fire and water, and it's kind of like all that fire doesn't seem like it's going to bring you all that much water. It kind of seems like the water is better here. We think of the Empress. To me, that feels like a watery, earthy energy. We even have the Virgo energy, which is a watery, earthy energy, right? Because it's a mutable earth sign. We have the Queen of Pentacles, which is a watery earth sign. So it's kind of, to me, it tells me that you feel better staying home right now. You feel better focusing on sort of enjoying what you have, focusing on your physical health and well-being, focusing on your sort of, the finances that you have, like at home, and doing that sort of thing, maybe gardening or I don't know, whatever these things are that you do. But you do something. That's the point here. The Ace of Pentacles up here is kind of like starting a new path that maybe is a little bit slower, a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more sensual or sensory, right? Enjoying the sights and smells of the world around you. Just a slower paced lifestyle, right? It's very quick. And we got the two knights. We got the Knight of Swords and the Knight of Wands there. Very active cardinal energies. Whereas over here, we do have the cardinal Earth, which was in the sort of past position, right? But otherwise, we've got the very kind of watery earth energies and kind of mutable type energies over here. So really it's kind of to me it feels like there was a very active life. Well, I don't even want to say active because that implies that you're going to an inactive life, and that's not the case. It's a different kind of activity for you. Yeah. Maybe it's just very fast-paced, very like adrenaline, and now it's much more thoughtful and sort of focused on internal stuff, focused on growth and sustaining what you have. I think the Ace of Pentacles is advising you to find those new things to do that you do enjoy. We don't have to fall back into the old habits, right? Whatever they may be, good or bad, productive or destructive, whatever. We don't just have to revert back to what we had before. And I think that's part of the problem here, is because you like it in this new place and maybe deep down you want something else, but maybe you don't really know what else to do. So it seems easier, well, I guess I'll just go back to the races, I guess. I don't know what else to do. And then we find ourselves back in the same habits, the same lifestyle that we had before. So this is really an indication. You got to find new things to do that you really love, that you enjoy. Keep yourself busy. It's not a period of inactivity. Okay? But something is coming your way that is going to try to convince you to go back to these old things, or to pursue the same sort of life energy toward new things, however you want to look at it. But it's pulling you back into the kind of, the old method, the very, again, kind of high octane sort of stuff, right? And maybe that's not the right word for it, but it could be coming in the form of a person, okay? It might be that one person that is kind of very loud, talks very fast, is very loud, and it's kind of hard to say no to them. Like, they don't really let you get a word in. So before you know it, like, you're in the car and you're already off to Vegas or something, you don't want to do that. So I think that's the sort of energy that's coming in, okay? And it really could be part of your own mind that's just kind of like, part of the mind is saying, hey, this is boring, let's go do something, let's go do something, let's go do something. So we have to be ready for that, because what it leads us to, of course, is you acting impulsively and getting sort of swept away. We're going to talk about the path of the serpent now. And as we do this, I'd like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed, please do. It's totally free, it doesn't cost anything, it helps out the channel, and we've really got to be sure to help out all of the tarot channels, all of your favorite channels, your favorite tarot readers on YouTube. I know I'm probably your first favorite, but everybody else too. It's important that we show our support by liking the video, leaving comments, subscribing to the channel, sharing the videos. That's your way of supporting and keeping your tarot readers here on YouTube, because things are tough all over. Anyway, let's get to the Knight of Wands here. That's kind of what I'm saying with the high octane stuff. It just feels like we're just swept along. The horse is just kind of taking off with us, and then we're like, oh God, I don't want to be here again, And then it's loud, and I didn't bring my earplugs and all this stuff. So we don't want to end up in a sort of situation that we ultimately don't feel is meant for us anymore. Whether it's a kind of work thing or career thing or certain projects, certain friends, certain lifestyle, certain kinds of of activities like traveling or whatever, places you don't want to go, doing things you don't really want to do, but we just sort of get swept up in the whirlwind, and before we know it, we're in Vegas and we're miserable, At least I think I would be anyway. We've got to be careful of that, because I think that there is sort of this energy in you that unless you occupy yourself with something else, your energy, your body, your mind, your heart, they want to do something. You need to keep busy, right? Otherwise, something's going to keep you busy. And this is going to lead, I think, to you not having a very good experience. The Nine of Swords, I feel, is the potential, and this is kind of like it's showing us all the opposites of what we want. This is everything we do want, and this is kind of the opposite, especially the Nine of Swords, because this is like you're bickering with people, you're irritable, you don't really have anything nice to say. It's kind of like you're feeling miserable, and you're kind of just taking it out on the people around you, I think that this is a big marker for you, because I find that you're a very kind person. You're not always nice, right? You're not always gentle, but you're kind, okay? So when you start losing your temper with people, that means something significant, because I think the way that you talk to people is a reflection of what's going on in your heart, okay? And I think that you are you're a person that wants to be kind, that you love people, you care for people, you want everybody to be happy and healthy, and I think in certain situations that maybe overwhelm you, overstimulate you, you can get a little irritable, right? So if you're starting to kind of snap at your friends or your family and stuff, it's an indication that something doesn't feel right, okay? And really, I think that's the correct statement, because there's that Eight of Cups, right? Something doesn't feel right, and it's starting to show in your interactions. This is the card of the environment, right? Nine of Swords in the environment. It can get really, really harsh, okay? And we don't want to, once we find that we're acting that way toward people, we got to figure out why. And I think it's really the environment. I think right now, for whatever reason, you're very sensitive to the environment that you're in. It's, you want to kind of cultivate a good vibe, right? So you've got to put yourself in that place where it's got the vibe you want. Because if the situation's not right, and you're going to feel it in your heart, and that's going to show in how you interact with people, okay? And that's the 9 of Swords that we see. So it really is Spirit saying it's time to start making plans of your own before you get swept up into somebody else's plans, right? Don't let anybody make up your mind for you. This might be an old friend kind of coming back that wants to kind of, that wants to kind of maybe, go out for the night or get involved in something that you really don't want to do. Trust yourself. Spirit is saying don't let anybody make that decision for you, because it will not go well. You will not be happy that you agreed to something like this. Okay? Spend some time focusing on yourself, your relationship with your body, with your house, with your environment, with your head and your heart too. Okay? Focus on cultivating your intimate relationships, your family relationships. This might be even kind of taking a new side job or a little extracurricular activities that not necessarily for the money, but for the expression, for something that you like doing. It could be volunteering, right? Something along those lines. Okay? Or it could just be a little side job. Like I always kind of thought, it'd be cool to go work at a library or something, like I could see myself doing that. I bet you could too. And just something like that. It feels like that's the vibe right now. Maybe it's because we're kind of getting a little bit closer to autumn, at least here in the northern hemisphere. So it's kind of like the extreme of summer is starting to kind of wane, and we're just kind of transitioning back into the cooler weather. It's getting closer, and it's just ready for the different vibe. I'm ready for, I'm ready for the whole autumn and winter vibe myself. What's the 4 of Swords here? Well, the 4 of Swords is the difficulty. And I think it's really difficult for whatever reason for you to kind of say no to this person. Or it might be because they're not somebody that can really, let you get a word in. Both of these are Libra energies. It might be a Libra person in your life, okay? Somebody trying to draw you into their whirlwind, their chaos, their whatever, maybe drama, right? And the 4 of Swords is really indicating that it's important that you resist that. But this person seems like they just kind of come in and they dominate the communication. They dominate the conversation. They're just this really kind of huge energy, right? And so it's hard to really it's like they're just so loud that they don't hear you talking at a normal level. And it kind of it almost feels like you're whispering, but it's just because the other person's so loud. Right, that it makes you sound like a whisper, but it's important that you hold your ground. Okay. It's kind of I feel like Spirit's saying don't accept any sort of invitation at the moment unless you really think about it first. Don't let yourself get swept up into somebody else's plans. That's the message I'm receiving. Okay. Also, something about soap. I don't know, what's the soap thing? You make soap, or you have maybe that's part of our Empress vibe, maybe we've got those scented soaps or something like that. Something about some kind of decorative soap, yeah. Maybe the 8 of Cups is you making soap, I don't know. But I feel that this is what you're trying to do, is you're trying to restore your health, restore your vitality. You're trying to enjoy your life. Maybe this is like you're taking a break. Maybe this is a sabbatical even, right? Because I feel that the 8 of Cups is kind of like you've been depleted. Maybe your emotional energy has literally been drained by life for a while. And now the 8 of Cups is saying it's time to fill that back up. And this is what you're doing over here. With all this water and earth energy, you're trying to just build yourself back up, doing the self-care. It's like, I'm just doing me for now. And maybe this is kind of a romantic opportunity that could be taking place here with this. Maybe some of you are going to get a proposal from a Libra energy. And And I feel like there's part of you that kind of like the excitement is kind of attractive, but ultimately it doesn't seem like it's what you want right now. It doesn't seem like what's going to be good for you. And I don't see that it's really going to be a relationship that is, that's really going to be healing. It's not a relationship that's going to be really all that pleasant when we think of these cards here. Okay. And I'm not trying to discourage you from finding romance if that's what you're looking for, but find it on your own terms. Okay? Whatever this energy is, this is the one that I think your intuition knows to say no to, but there's part of you that might want to say yes. Okay? Just saying. But I like the Eight of Cups in this sense of you've got to spend time with yourself and your family, your pets, your plants, your people, healing, restoring, enjoying each other's company, bonding, being together, like really, really focus on that. That's kind of that's to me what this vibe feels like. Okay, and I like it a lot. There's some connection with Norway. I don't know, a connecting flight in Oslo, or if there's somebody you know that lives there, some sort of a connection with, I think with Oslo. Is Oslo the capital of Norway? I don't know. Something there with that city and that country, okay? Maybe that's kind of the vibe, right? Maybe you're looking California but feeling Minnesota, right? If you understand the reference there. Let's look at the mystery card. I want to see water or earth. I want to see either another empress. I want to see some idea of things being restored, things healing. I want to see a 9 of cups, or I want to see a 9 or a 10 of pentacles, right? I want to see something just being sort of built up and nurtured here. It's just like you can't go and do all these crazy things out in the world because you're focused on this, and this is what really matters to you, right? If you have a prediction, put it down in the comments. Let's take a look. The Hanged Man, but somehow it's reversed, right? So this is you not just going with the flow. This is you not just saying, oh, okay, and then just diving into this and letting this sort of whirlwind take you wherever it will, right? It's not you just succumbing to this and giving in and letting go and just allowing yourself to be swept away. No, this is you, I think, getting a different perspective and understanding the importance of what you're focused on right now, what your heart and soul really need and want at the moment. For however long this period lasts, I feel like this is that period of kind of, coming home for the winter, Hanged Man reversed, yes, very, very good energy. It's not something that you just sort of have to do, and it's like, oh, okay, I'll go do it, and it's just miserable, and we feel like we're sacrificing ourselves, No, this is you standing up and just kind of realizing that you don't have to be in that position. That doesn't look fun. You can stand up and you can say, no, I'm not going to engage with anything that I don't feel, that I'm not really vibing with right now, This is a very stand-up card. It's not the trust fall into the situation. It's kind of standing up and saying, no, I don't want to dive into this, There may be parts of you that do want to, but ultimately I feel your intuition is telling you, no, you need to focus this water energy on things that are very important to you for right now, okay? We're going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around, there is a link up top. There's one down below. New readings for Sagittarius Wednesdays and Sundays. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed yet, well, please do. It's totally free. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we're all in this together.